On Tuesday, the social media giant faced negative testimony about user health and safety from a whistleblower in front of Congress. That came immediately after a massive outage took Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp offline for more than 6 hours on Monday. That downtime likely cost Facebook a pretty penny in lost advertising revenue. The company took home $84.2 billion from ads in 2020 alone. Fortune estimated that Facebook lost nearly $100 million on Monday based on the company's quarterly revenue. So in this video, we're going to tell you about how Facebook outage affected the world. The video is going to be amazing, so make sure you stick till the end. Before starting the video, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to never miss out on any of our videos. It blamed an internal technical issue which not only affected Facebook services but reportedly also employees' work passes and emails. The services were down from about 1600 GMT until around 2200 on Monday, but the company said there was no evidence that user data was compromised. Shira Frankel, the New York Times technology reporter, told the Today program part of the reason it took so long to fix was that the people trying to figure out what this problem was couldn't even physically get into the building to work out what had gone wrong. The outage started just before noon ET and took nearly 6 hours before it was resolved. This is the worst outage for Facebook since a 2019 incident took its site offline for more than 24 hours, as the downtime hit hardest on the small businesses and creators who rely on these services for their income. About 11:45 a.m. ET on Monday, users around the world reported issues accessing Facebook apps like Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger, and Facebook itself on the outage tracking website Down Detector. Facebook employees also had issues accessing internal tools and even physical areas within the company's offices. Devs can access their apps online to push new builds, no documentation, nothing. All Oculus platform services are down, no avatars as well. A developer whose work includes Facebook platforms told, for one, the chain reaction that outage created was a major headache for Facebook's employees. Alex Hearn, an editor at The Guardian, said in a series of tweets that much of Facebook's IT system depends on Facebook. So Hearn said if the company accidentally cut its servers off from the internet, that would have also impaired its ability to update the internet with correct information, log into Facebook systems to send that update, use a digital badge to access the server room where Facebook systems are housed, and send messages to the security team asking them to unlock the doors with a physical key. Facebook services also power a substantial portion of the digital economy, meaning businesses that run Facebook and Instagram ads and communicate with customers on the platforms were also caught up in the outage. In many parts of the world, especially Latin America and India, WhatsApp is the most popular messaging app and is used widely for personal, professional, and political communication, which means Facebook's outage disrupted the ability of users in those regions to communicate with one another, Jose Caparoso, a Forbes editor, said. Responding to Caparoso, Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said Facebook's acquisition and subsequent integration of WhatsApp into its infrastructure meant that vastly more of the global digital communication system depended on Facebook and was affected when it failed. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg and other shareholders in the company also had a rough day. Zuckerberg's net worth dropped by $7 billion on Monday as Facebook stock slid by around 5%. The internet had a field day, flocking to Twitter and other social media platforms to post memes making fun of the situation. Facebook published a brief blog post Monday evening attributing the massive global outage that took its services and internal communications tools offline for several hours to a faulty configuration change due to its routers. Configuration changes on the backbone routers that coordinate network traffic between our data centers caused issues that interrupted this communication. This disruption to network traffic had a cascading effect on the way our data centers communicate, bringing our services to a halt. Facebook Vice President of Infrastructure Santosh Janardhan wrote in the post, "The underlying cause of this outage also impacted many of the internal tools and systems we use in our day-to-day operations, complicating our attempts to quickly diagnose and resolve the problem," Janardhan said. Facebook said it had no evidence that user data was compromised as a result of this downtime. Facebook employees and internet experts outside the company had hinted at a similar cause earlier during the outage. A cyber attack likely wasn't to blame, two Facebook security team members told the New York Times, because it would have been difficult for a single attack to target the wide variety of underlying technologies affected during the outage. One possibility is an issue with the Facebook-run servers responsible for telling internet users where to find content. Cloudflare Chief Technology Officer John Graham Cumming tweeted, Facebook and related properties disappeared from the internet in a flurry of BGP updates. Cloudflare described BGP, or Border Gateway Protocol, as the postal service of the internet responsible for looking at all of the available paths that data could travel and picking the best route. Just before Facebook's outage, Graham Cumming said Cloudflare detected a large number of BGP changes, mostly route withdrawals, to Facebook's autonomous systems basically. the local post office branches, Cloudflare explained its take in further detail in a blog post. Brian Krebs, a security researcher, also said the likely culprit was a misstep on Facebook's end that caused its services to drop off the internet's map. The DNS records that tell systems how to find Facebook.com or Instagram.com got withdrawn this morning from the global routing table. Krebs tweeted, "We don't know why this change was made. It could well have been the result of an internal system-wide change or update that went awry." He added, "It's all speculation at this point why Facebook alone is in control over its DNS records." Many outages get resolved fairly quickly. They're often localized too, with some people unable to open a website that can be viewed in another country. This outage, however, was global and affected all of Facebook's many spin-offs. The length of time it was off-grid is also unusual. There were reports of mayhem in Facebook headquarters as technicians scrambled to fix the problem. Interesting too that the outage hampered Facebook's ability to tackle the crash, bringing down internal tools needed to remedy the problem. It should also be said that Facebook's statement is carefully written. It doesn't rule out foul play. The week had already started off badly after the whistleblower in the Facebook files revelations revealed herself on Sunday. But a bad week has become a terrible one for the social network. Instagram.com was flashing a 5xx server error message, while the Facebook site merely told us that something went wrong. The problem also affected its virtual reality arm Oculus. Users could load games they already have installed and the browser works, but social features or installing new games didn't. After failing all tests for most of Monday, a test of ISP DNS servers via dnschecker.org showed most of them successfully finding a route to facebook.com at 5:30 p.m. ET. A few minutes later, we were able to start using Facebook and Instagram normally. However, it may take some time for the DNS fixes to reach everyone. On Twitter, Facebook Communications exec Andy Stone says, "We're aware that some people are having trouble accessing our apps and products. We're working to get things back to normal as quickly as possible, and we apologize for any inconvenience." Mike Schroepfer, who will step down from his post as CTO next year, tweeted, "We're experiencing networking issues and teams are working as fast as possible to debug and restore as fast as possible." Inside Facebook, the outage broke nearly all of the internal systems employees use to communicate and work. Several employees told they resorted to talking through their work-provided AdLink email accounts, though employees can't receive emails from external addresses. Employees who were logged into work tools such as Google Docs and Zoom before the outage can still use those, but any employee who needs to log in with their work email was blocked. On Monday, we learned that Facebook engineers were sent to the company's US data centers to try and fix the problem, according to two people familiar with the situation. A peek at Down Detector or your Twitter feed reveals the problems were widespread. While it's unclear exactly why the platforms were unreachable for so many people, their DNS records show that, like last week's Slack outage, the problem is apparently DNS. It's always DNS. But what appeared to outside observers as BGP and DNS problems was actually the result of a configuration change that affected the entire internal backbone. The company has explicitly pointed out that the root cause of this outage was a faulty configuration change and that there's no indication at this time that any user data was compromised. Regardless, the incident is a testament to the dominance of social media and messaging platforms on various aspects of our lives and commerce, making their availability no longer optional. This was all for today. Hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe to Findingtech. Stay safe, and we'll be back soon with another video.